The snow was falling harder now, thick flakes softening the hard edges of the city. Street lights glowed in hazy halos, and rooftops and cars wore a fresh white blanket. It looked like one of those Christmas cards people tape to their refrigerators too. Perfect to be real. Noah Morrison pulled his daughter Rachel closer as they walked. Rachel, 6 years old, was bundled in a bright pink coat, red and white hat pulled low, cheeks flushed from the cold. Her gloved hand gripped his tightly, her little boots crunching in the slush. They had just left the Christmas Eve service at church. The carols, candles, and quiet prayers lingered in the air around them. For some families it was tradition. For Noah and Rachel, it was survival. It gave their grief somewhere to rest for a while. At 34, Noah lived the kind of life most people envied. 3 years earlier, he'd sold his tech startup for more money than he'd ever imagined. He had a penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows, sleek cars, and investments that meant he never had to worry about money again. But money didn't keep him warm on nights like this. Rachel did. "Daddy, look at all the pretty lights," she said, pointing at the decorated storefronts. Noah followed her gaze. Every building seemed to be competing icicle lights, glowing snowmen, sparkling Christmas trees. "They're beautiful." "Sweetheart," he said, looking down at her shining eyes and unguarded smile. No matter how heavy his heart felt, she pulled him back from the edge. There had been a time when Noah thought his life was complete. A growing company, a loving wife, a baby daughter. Sarah, his college sweetheart, had believed in him before anyone else. 2 years ago, an aneurysm took her without warning. One moment she'd been laughing at something Rachel said over breakfast. By dinner, she was gone. The world never looked the same after that. Since then, it had been Noah and Rachel against the world. He'd learned how to braid hair, make anal-shaped pancakes, and hold his daughter when nightmares about her mother's absence woke her up crying. He'd learned that no amount of money could buy back what mattered most. They were almost home. When they passed a narrow alley, Noah might have walked past if not for the faint sound of movement, the clatter of metal, the quiet, ragged sound of someone breathing. He hesitated. It was Christmas Eve. They were supposed to be heading home. 2 hot chocolate and stories. Rachel didn't need to see something that would haunt her. He could walk on. Many people would, but something stopped him. Maybe it was Sarah's voice in the back of his mind, the part of her that never let him ignore someone in need. Noah turned, gently guiding Rachel, and looked down the alley. A single street lamp cast a pale circle of light over a dumpster, there half hidden in shadow. A young woman rummaged through the trash. She wore what had once been a nice purple-colored dress, now torn and stained. A purple hooded sweater, riddled with holes, hung over it. Her blonde hair fell in tangled strands around her face, and even from here, Noah could see her shivering. One arm clutched a worn notebook tight against her chest, like something precious. With the other, she pushed through bags and containers. Suddenly she froze, pulling out what looked like half a sandwich. A small sound half-sub, half-relief escaped her. "Daddy, why is that lady looking in the trash?" Rachel asked softly. The woman's head snapped up. Her eyes were wide with fear, like a trapped animal. Up close, Noah could see she wasn't as old as her tired face made her seem, maybe late 20s. Her cheekbones were sharp, eyes shadowed from sleeplessness. She looked starving and exhausted, but there was something refined in her features, intelligence in her gaze. "I'm sorry," she blurted, clutching the notebook tighter. "I'm sorry, I'm leaving." "I wasn't, I'm just." Her voice was hoarse, but there was an educated lilt to it, someone who used to live in libraries and coffee shops, not alleys. "Wait," Noah said gently, raising his free hand. "Please don't go." She went, still, shoulders tense. He could see the battle in her expression, pride, shame, fear, and a tiny flicker of hope. She glanced at Rachel, and something in her eyes softened. "I'm sorry your daughter has to see me like this," she whispered. "No child should." "Miss, are you hungry?" Rachel asked. Her question was simple, honest, without judgment. The woman's face twisted. "I'm fine." Her stomach growled loudly. She shut her eyes, humiliation written across her face. Noah decided. "Please," he said quietly, "let me buy you dinner. There's a diner around the corner. It's Christmas Eve. No one should be alone and hungry tonight." "I don't need charity," she replied, but her voice shook. "I'm fine. I'll just need—" She looked at the half-eaten sandwich in her hand and broke. Tears slid down her cheeks. "I'm sorry," she choked. "I used to be someone, I used to matter. I don't know how I got here. You still matter, Noah said firmly. Everyone matters. I'm Noah, and this is my daughter, Rachel. The woman looked at Rachel Agonat, the small girl wrapped in warmth and safety. My name is Hannah, she whispered, and I haven't eaten in 3 days. The diner was a pocket of warmth against the icy night, filled with the smell of coffee, bacon, and something sweet from the kitchen. Tinsel hung along the counter. A small tree blinked beside the door. The hostess's eyes flicked over Hannah's clothes, but Noah's calm look made her step aside. Table for 3, she asked. Yes, please, Noah said. They sat by the window, Rachel in the middle between Noah and Hannah. Noah ordered hot chocolate with whipped cream for Rachel, coffee for himself and Hannah. Order whatever you want, he told Hannah. Anything, anything. Her voice cracked. Anything, he repeated. She studied the menu like it was from another lifetime, then ordered soup, eggs, toast, bacon, and a sandwich. When the food came, she tried to eat slowly, but hunger overruled dignity. She ate quickly, tears slipping down her face. Rachel slid her hot chocolate toward her. You can have mine if you're thirsty. Hannah stared at the mug, then at Rachel. Thank you, Swinny, but that's yours. You drink it. Rachel pulled it back, cradling it again. Are you homeless? She asked after a moment. Rachel Noe began, but Hannah lifted a hand. It's okay, she said. Yes, honey, I'm homeless. I lost my home. Why? Rachel asked. I made some mistakes, and I had some very bad luck, Hannah said quietly, and everything fell apart. Noah watched her carefully. The way she held the notebook, like it contained her whole life. The way she spoke, careful, articulate, polite even now. What's in the notebook? Noah asked gently. Hannah hesitated, then opened it slowly. Pages of neat, flowing handwriting, poems, stories, the beginnings of something longer. I was a writer, she said. I guess I still am. I was finishing my MFA at Columbia. I had a teaching assistantship, a tiny apartment, a future. Her voice shook. Then my mom got sick. Can said I used all my savings on her treatment. I dropped out to care for her. She died 6 months ago. I'm so sorry, Noah said quietly. After that, I couldn't catch up, she continued. Lost my apartment, couldn't keep my job without an address. No place to shower, no place to sleep. One thing after another collapsed. This notebook is all I managed to keep. My words are the only thing I still own. Where do you sleep now? Noah asked. In shelters when there's space, Hannah said. On benches or under bridges when there isn't. Doorways, corners, wherever I won't get kicked awake too quickly. She tried to make it sound casual, but shame flickered in her eyes. I'm one of the invisible people now, the ones everyone pretends not to see. I see you, Rachel said. Hannah's face broke. She reached out and gently touched Rachel's arm. Thank you, she whispered. You have no idea how much that means. Noah's thoughts shifted to his empty guest suite, the unused space, the stocked pantry, and to Sarah who never walked past someone in need. Hannah, he said slowly, I want to make you an offer, and I need you to listen before you say no. She looked at him warily. What kind of offer? I have a guest suite in my apartment, Noah said. 2 bedrooms, private bathroom, small kitchen area. It's been empty since my wife, Sarah, passed away. He took a breath. You can stay there as long as you need. No strings, no conditions. Just a safe place while you get back on your feet. Hannah stared at him, stunned. Double quotes. No, she said at once. I can't. You don't know me. I could be anyone. You're someone who needs help, Noah said quietly. 2 years ago, when Sarah died, I was drowning. People helped us. Friends, neighbors, my sister. They didn't help because we earned it. They helped because we needed it. That's what people are supposed to do. People don't just do this, Hannah whispered. They don't just save you. Maybe they should, Noah replied. So, is it a yes? Hannah looked down at her notebook, then at Rachel's open, trusting face, then at Noah. Yes, she whispered. God help me. Yes. Noah's penthouse looked unreal to Hannah. The elevator opened directly into a spacious living room with floor-to-ceiling windows, and the city spread out below, glittering in the snow. The guest suite was larger than any apartment she'd ever rented. A bed with clean sheets, a dresser, a small sitting area, and a private bathroom. I'm going to ruin everything, she said quietly, gripping her notebook. I'm filthy. I don't belong here. You won't ruin anything, Noah said. Towels are in the bathroom. Leave some of Sarah's clothes outside the door. She was about your size. She'd want you to have them. I'm sorry for your loss, Hannah said. I'm sorry for yours, Noah replied. In the bathroom, Hannah stepped under the hot water and almost wept from the shock of it. Months of cold sinks and hurried washing melted away. She sobbed until the water ran clear, until her shoulders stopped shaking. When she stepped out, she wrapped herself in a soft towel smelling faintly of lavender. The clothes outside, jeans, sweater, socks, fit well enough. She barely recognized herself. In the mirror, in the living room, Noah sat with Rachel, reading from a Christmas book. Rachel looked up and lit up. Hannah, you look pretty. Thank you, sweetheart, Hannah said, flushing. She turned to Noah. Thank you for all of this. I don't know how I'll ever repay you. I'll find a job in Hannah. Noah cut in gently. Tomorrow, tonight, just rest. Let this be a good Christmas Eve. Can Hannah read the story? Rachel asked. She's a real writer. More than okay with me, Noah said. Hannah sat beside Rachel and read. Her voice flowed over the familiar words, calm and musical. By the time she reached the end, Rachel was asleep between them. She likes you, Noah said softly. She's incredible, Hannah replied. You both are. I don't know how this is real. Believe it, Noah said. You're safe here. You're home, for as long as you need. Home, Hannah repeated, as if trying on the word. The following weeks felt like waking up after a long, dark dream. Noah helped Hannah replace her ID and other documents, bought her a few sets of clothes, and added her to his phone plan. He introduced her to an editor friend who liked her writing and offered her paid assignments. But the true change came from daily life. Shared dinners, movie nights, Rachel insisting Hannah read her bedtime stories, inside jokes, quiet talks after Rachel went to bed. You're becoming part of our family, Rachel said one morning over pancakes. Right, Daddy. Noah looked across the table at Hannah. Her eyes met his, surprised but hopeful. Right, he said. 3 months later, Hannah had a steady job as a junior editor at a literary magazine. Her articles were getting published, and she'd started working seriously on her novel again. With Noah's encouragement, she rented a small apartment nearby. She moved out of the guest suite, but not out of their lives. She still came for dinner several times a week, still read to Rachel, still joined their traditions. 6 more months passed. One warm summer night, while Rachel slept inside, Noah and Hannah sat on his balcony, city lights glittering below them. I need to tell you something, Hannah said quietly. I'm falling in love with you and Rachel. Noah turned her face to his. I've been falling in love with you for months, he said with a nervous smile. I didn't want you to feel like you owed me anything. I don't, she said, tears in her eyes. I just love you. I love the life we've built. I love who I am when I'm with you both. He kissed her, gentle and sure. Rachel loves you too, he said. We want you in our lives as family, not as someone we saved, as someone we can't imagine living without. A year after that first snowy night, on another Christmas Eve, they stood together at the same dumpster. Snow fell softly around them. The alley looked the same, but everything had changed. This is where everything changed, Hannah said. I thought I'd lost everything. Instead, I found everything that matters. This is where Rachel and I found the missing piece of our family, Noah added. Rachel, now 7, bounced excitedly between them. Are we doing it now? Hannah nodded and pulled out an envelope. Inside was a check for $100,000, the advance from her memoir about losing everything and finding hope. The money would help start the Hannah Morrison Fellowship, a program for homeless individuals pursuing education or creative careers. Together, they walked to a nearby mailbox and slid the envelope inside. Hey, Hannah said as they walked home, the same way Noah and Rachel had walked that first night. For seeing me when I was invisible, for giving me a chance to live again. Thank you for letting us love you, Noah replied. For becoming Rachel's mom in all the ways that matter. For reminding us that family is a choice. Merry Christmas, Mummy, Rachel said, swinging their hands. Hannah's eyes filled instantly. She still teared up every time Rachel called her that. She and Noah had married 6 months earlier in a small ceremony where Rachel had been the proudest flower girl. Merry Christmas, baby, Hannah whispered. That night, after Rachel fell asleep, Hannah and Noah sat by the glowing tree. 3 stockings hung from the mantel. Gifts were piled beneath the branches. Hannah wore the same cream-colored dress she'd worn in the alley that first night, now cleaned and mended. She wore it every Christmas Eve as a reminder. "What are you thinking about?" Noah asked. "How close I came to giving up," she said. "That night, I was writing goodbye letters in my notebook. To my mum, to the life I'd lost. I was planning to walk into the river the next day." Noah squeezed her hand. "Then Rachel asked if I was hungry," Hannah continued, voice breaking. "You offered me dinner, and suddenly I had a reason to survive one more day, then another, and those days turned into this." Noah pulled her into his arms. "I'm so glad you're here. I can't imagine life without you." "Neither can I," Hannah said. She looked at the tree, the stockings, the photos of the three of them on the walls. "Do you remember what I said that night?" she asked. "I say I used to be someone." "You were wrong," Noah said gently. "I know," she replied, smiling through tears. "I was always someone. I just couldn't see it. You and Rachel helped me remember that worth isn't about what you have or what you've lost. It's about who you are and how you treat people." "You'll do the same for others," Noah said. "I will," Hannah replied. "That's what the fellowship is for. To pass on the gift you gave me." They sat together in the soft glow of the tree, a wealthy widower and a once homeless writer, brought together by a snowy night and a little girl's simple question. Asterisk, "Are you hungry?" Asterisk, sometimes salvation comes from places you never expect. Sometimes the person digging through the trash on Christmas Eve is exactly the person you need to meet. Sometimes helping someone else is how you heal yourself. Noah had given Hannah a home. Hannah had given Noah purpose and love again. She had given Rachel a mother and given all of them hope. Over time, their Christmas traditions grew not just trees and presents, but visits to shelters, shared meals with strangers, and quiet acts of kindness that rippled far beyond their own walls. Every year, as they lit the tree together, they remembered that their family existed because one night, someone chose compassion instead of looking away. Hannah thought of the alley, the cold, the decision not to give up. Her story could have ended there. Instead, it began again. Sometimes losing everything doesn't mean the end. Sometimes it makes space for the things that truly matter: love, kindness, family, hope. And sometimes, on a snowy Christmas Eve, one small act of compassion changes 3 lives forever. As Hannah leaned her head against Noah's shoulder, she felt a quiet truth settle in her heart, something she hadn't understood even in the warm glow of their Christmas tree. With each day she had spent with Noah and Rachel, she hadn't just found shelter or food. She had found pieces of herself she thought were gone forever. She realized now that healing doesn't arrive all at once, cliffs slowly, in laughter, shared over dinner, in a child's small hand reaching for yours, in knowing someone truly sees you. She had lived invisible for so long that being loved felt unreal, yet here it was, steady and bright. And in that moment, she finally understood. Her second chance wasn't just a gift, it was a beginning she was worthy of.